And then she said, well, some people do react to water. And I finally have an allergist appointment. I've only been waiting for 11 months. I shall read it out to you, as has apparently become my thing when I get these things. Dear Mr. Max Fisher, good start. Here are the details of your appointment at hospital. Your consultant, clinic location, date and time, Wednesday the 18th of December, 8:30 in the morning. Please read points 1 to 4 carefully, as well as any instructions overleaf and any other sheets enclosed. There were none. Number 1, if you need to cancel or change your appointment, ring that number. Getting here, it's all the same as my audiology letters, really. I'll also put a card to that up here. If a medical condition prevents you from using public transport, please ring the following non-emergency transport providers a few days before your appointment. Yeah. When you come to your appointment, please bring this letter, a list of your medications including how much you take and how often, glasses or hearing aids that you use, your up-to-date mobile number. It is very important that you read the instructions below as they relate to your appointment on Wednesday the 18th of December at 8:30. Urine sample, big capital letters. It is important that you bring a sample of urine in a small clean bottle with you. If you are attending an adult allergy appointment, allergy skin tests may be undertaken when you attend clinic. Consequently, it's important that you do not take antihistamine tablets, for example, Telfast, Zyrtec, Xyzal, Piriton, Claritin and Neoclaritin for 72 hours prior to the clinic visit. I'll take you with me, as always. Got another letter from my allergist. And it says, Dear Mr. Max Fisher, which is always a brilliant start. We are sorry that we have to change your appointment, which was on the 18th of December 2019 at 8:30 at this hospital. Your new appointment is Wednesday the 15th of January. Hello, it's me again. I went downstairs to a letter this morning that looked especially NHS-like. They've rearranged my appointment again. March the 4th at 11:30. Will I ever get to an allergist clinic? Who knows? Dear Mr. Max Fisher, we are sorry to have to cancel your appointment. Your new appointment is on the 17th of February at 8:45 in the immunology clinic. Tomorrow, I finally get to see my allergy specialist. I am on my sofa because, thank you amitriptyline, I am not a morning person. My appointment is at 8:45 in the morning, so I will be on my bike at 7:30 in the morning in the cold without my antihistamines. But at least that way, maybe the allergy specialist or immunologist or whoever it is that I'm seeing might get to witness what I live with. Wish me luck. Just finished my appointment. Still allergic to cold. We knew that, I could have told you that. But I picked up some more skin tests for grass pollen and tree pollen, negative. And then dust, which came up bigger than my positive control, so confirms that yes, I am indeed allergic to dust as well. We were discussing cold urticaria and I was like, wet cold is always worse than dry cold. And then she said, well, some people do react to water, and apparently so do I. Now I know why wet cold is always worse than dry cold. Bodies are weird. I'm now back on my bike. I'm going to go into town. I'm going to get coffee because I haven't had my coffee yet. Onwards. Hello, okay, I am back home, as you can see. To sum up, been off antihistamines since Thursday. Then I cycled in this morning because roadworks and traffic, and it was actually the fastest way to get there. I beat the doctor there. She called me in, we had a discussion about cold urticaria, symptoms of that, symptoms of food allergies, and things that I'm not sure about, and allergies that I want to test for. After we'd had a discussion, we did she performed a skin prick test on me. I will put a photo on screen now. It doesn't look like much. Let me explain. So for a long time, my hives have been small. The way my body responds to histamine isn't necessarily the typical way that you would see urticaria, which makes photos of my reactions look less legitimate or questionable to some people. But we spoke about that today because in my skin prick test, the positive control, which was on the top right of the photo, you might want to skip back because the software I use, I can't just put the picture on next to me. Positive control, quite small, but enough of a positive that she was happy to continue with the test and interpret the results based on that. Another reason why she was okay with that is because I had brought in lots of photos of different hives in different situations, so after the shower, being outside, putting ice on me, that sort of thing, and the hive that I got from my positive control matched the ones in the pictures. We tested for dust mites and grass pollen and tree pollen. Both grass pollen and tree pollen came up negative. Don't have hay fever, I kind of knew that, but she wanted to test anyway. And dust mites. So my dust mite hives came up bigger than the positive control, which indicates it was quite likely that I am allergic to dust mites, or dust. There was 2 different types, I forgot to check which types she tested for, but there's 2 of them and it's dust mites. And they are the middle 2, like there and there. You can kind of see the positives. It's important to note that the size of the hive doesn't indicate the severity of the reaction, just the likelihood that you are allergic. So I now have a diagnosis of a dust allergy too. Moving on, we talked about how cold urticaria is affecting my life, and she's very happy with the way that I'm handling things. I'm dealing with it in a way that she would suggest to people to deal with it, apart from the Montelukast, which I took advice from strangers on the internet to give it a go. And I'll put a link up to the video where I started it. As time has gone on, side effects have made it not worth it. So I miss being able to sleep. It has sort of impacted my mental health, but not massively, not like in the horror stories. It just isn't where I'd like to be at. And it's not providing any benefit at all, because it's not asthma. We've checked this now with many specialists, it's not asthma. I don't need to be on asthma drugs for it. We tried it, it doesn't work. And now I can come off, but she didn't tell me how. But I can go back to my doctors and be like, hey, how do I come off this? And they will help me do that now. A funny thing happened, and during my skin prick test, I'm not phobic of needles. You can tell I have tattoos and piercings and stuff. Needles don't bother me. However, my body has other ideas. So after my skin was pricked for the skin prick test, I got very, very dizzy. Gotta love that vasovagal syncope. It's silly. I was just sat in the chair like, are you serious? I don't have any anxiety around needles at all, and yet still. So we talked about my medical history and the EDS hypermobility spectrum. Still not quite sorted, but we are now on that route of which is it. Because I fainted, she is another doctor that has said the word POTS at me and has recommended that I follow that up with my GP to kind of see about getting that sorted. I'm already on beta blockers, they kind of help, but that's for anxiety as well, and I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. More on that in the future. And then we got talking about how wet cold is worse than dry cold. And we talked about aquagenic urticaria, and if I have it, it's so mild that on its own it doesn't cause a problem, but there might be an interplay with cold and water, because that's the only reason why wet cold would be worse than dry cold. but I don't know if that's been added as an official diagnosis or not, but yeah, wet cold is worse than dry cold, and that's the only reason that we think why. That makes sense? She took some blood to do an IgE test for some foods that I'm having trouble with. She wanted to check the rice allergy because it doesn't make a ton of sense. I haven't really talked about it much. I can't really eat it, but the way that it affects my body... She just wanted to check if it was a true allergy or not, and if I can eat rice I'm going to be so happy. She's also testing my tryptase levels because there is an overlap or a comorbidity of EDS and hypermobility stuff with POTS, which she really does think I have, and a condition called mast cell activation syndrome. I will talk more about it if I have it. But she's testing for that, which is basically an overreaction of mast cells to things that shouldn't really cause allergy, so it's not true allergy, but it's kind of related. It's the same symptoms, but it's not IgE mediated. That's a whole other thing. But we're testing for that. I'll let you know if anything happens with that. That's kind of it. It went really well, and I'm glad that after a year we finally got there, and I will let you know what happens in a follow-up video, but that was my allergist appointment. So, thank you for sticking with me up until this point and being patient with me while I waited for my appointment. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment down below with any thoughts and feelings, subscribe to my channel for more cold urticaria content and other allergy content now, I suppose, and ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time with at least one bonus video every single month. See ya!